The night she was born, the sky was very dark. Thunder was loud. Rain beat the palace roof. In the ancient land of Ile-Ife, there was a king who wanted one thing: a child. He had 4 wives. For so many years, none of them could bear a child. People started talking. A king without a child is like a tree without roof. One night, the youngest wife went into labor. As the king waited outside, he was nervous. Then the baby was born. As the midwives came out, they spoke to the king. "It's a baby girl." The king was not too happy with the news. He wanted a baby boy. But immediately he carried her, something felt different. The baby did not cry. She looked at him, calm, strong, like she already knew who she was. And she was named Aduni. She grew very fast. At 5 years old, she was not afraid of fire. At 10, she could fight better than many boys. At 15, even soldiers respected her. She grew up to be a strong warrior. "Maybe the gods gave me something special," the king said. But in their land, a woman cannot rule alone. One evening, the elders called her and told her, "If you want to remain in royalty, you have to get pregnant for a man and marry him. Then he shall be called the king of this kingdom." It was their law. The strongest man in the kingdom was chosen. One of them entered the hut with her. After some time, he ran out screaming, "My manhood!" The next morning, the elders discovered something shocking. The manhood had disappeared. Then the next day, it returned. They tried another man. The same thing happened. And another. The same thing repeated itself. Fear filled the kingdom. "She is cursed," people said. "She has evil spirits." But Aduni did not feel evil. She felt confused. The king visited different spiritualists. At first, there was no revelation, till an old diviner finally spoke. "This is not curse," he said. "It is protection." And the king asked, "Protection from who?" No one knew.
The spirits awakened.
Then the diviner had a very strange revelation.
No man in this kingdom can marry her.
The king's heart dropped.
She belongs to only one man.
"Where is he?" the king asked.
Far away.
The old man pointed far away in Accra, a country called Ghana. The room became silent. "What is his name?" the king asked.
The man's name is
Kofi. But the diviner added something more. "The man has a birthmark on his back. It looks like a half moon." The next day, the king sent men to search for him in Accra. Months passed, they found nothing. Inside the palace, some chiefs were planning something bad. "I pray she fails, so that one of our family will take over the throne," one of the chiefs said. Adunni heard them. That night, she made a decision. "I will go myself," she said. Her father did not want her to go, but she insisted. At sunrise, she left the kingdom alone. She was not afraid, but she did not know what was waiting for her.
Journey of no return.
She looks so different.
When she arrived in Accra, everything felt different. Different food, different language, different people. For the first time in her life, she felt like a stranger. One day, she entered a bus to go to the market. Halfway through the journey, robbers entered the bus. They carried guns. People started screaming.
Everyone down, now!
Children were crying. But Adunni did not shake. She looked at one of the robbers and asked
Are
calmly,
you hungry?
"Why are you doing this? Are you hungry?" He laughed at her. She began counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Before she reached 6, she attacked within minutes. The robbers were on the ground. People were shocked. They clapped for her. They called her brave. After the bus incident, everybody called her hero. But the one person she cared about did not clap. He only looked at her like he saw through her. That night, she couldn't sleep, not because of the robbers, but because of him. The next day, she went to the bus park, but he was not there. And the second day, the same thing. The third day, he walked up to her and spoke to her. You felt like you were protecting something. She smiled. I have been a warrior. But this time, her voice was softer. From that day, they became closer. They met almost every evening by the riverside. He told her about fishing, and she spoke about responsibilities, but never about the throne. For the first time in her life, she laughed from her heart, and she felt butterflies in her belly. One evening, the wind lifted his shirt lightly, and she saw it. The half moon the chief priest talked about. Then she asked him, "What's your full name?" "My full name is Kofi Uba." She was so shocked, and she ran off immediately. She disappeared into distance, and he asked himself, "Did I say something wrong?" When she got home, her mind was restless. She paced her room. Have I truly found him? The man I came here to look for. Will he follow me to my kingdom? Is he truly honest? How can I trust him? She asked herself different questions. Even though she has fallen in love with him, fear still whispered in her heart. The next morning, she gathered courage and went to his house. He was surprised to see her. "Why did you run off yesterday? Did I offend you?" She took a deep breath. "I don't know how this will sound, but I must tell you the truth. In my kingdom, I am the princess and the only child of the king. Women are not allowed to rule alone. I must marry and have a child before the throne can continue. But any man who tried to be with me falls seriously ill." The priest said, "My soulmate is in this land, and that he carried the same name as yours and the same birthmark." She looked at him and said, "I came to Ghana to find him." Kofi was silent for a moment. Then he spoke. "This is fate. I was actually preparing to leave Ghana. I had the revelation that my wife was in a faraway land. Every woman I tried to love becomes sick, and I thought I was cursed." Silence filled the room. As two destinies stared at each other, then he stepped closer. "I will follow you to your kingdom, not because I want to be king, not because of power. I have fallen in love with you." Together, they returned to her kingdom. The evil chiefs were surprised to see her return with him. Then gossip spread through the kingdom. Some doubted him. Meanwhile, the king was very ill. But the moment he saw his daughter safe, his strength slowly began to return. She sat close to her father and said, "This is my destiny. This is the man meant to stand beside me." The evil chiefs, angry that their time was almost over, plotted to kidnap Kofi so they could take over the throne. One evening, as he went to the village square, some men seized him. When Adunni heard about it, her heart was shattered. That night, she went alone into the forest to search for him, with no guards and no protection. For the first time, she cried. She fell on her knees, saying, "Why is this happening to me? Am I cursed?" But in that moment, something changed inside her. She remembered the prophecy. She remembered the half moon. She rose to her feet, not as a frightened woman, but as a princess. When the chiefs tried to complete their ritual, the wind suddenly rose. The fire around Kofi went off. His birthmark shone brightly in the darkness, and Aduni appeared. "I am not cursed," she declared. "I am chosen, and no one will steal what destiny has joined." The guards who had secretly followed her surrounded the chiefs. Their evil plot was exposed before the elders of the kingdom. They were banished. Kofi was freed. The king witnessed his daughter's strength, stood tall once again. He made a decree: "My daughter will rule beside her husband. From today, the law will change." The kingdom rejoiced. Aduni and Kofi got married and lived happily ever after.